Hey guys, welcome to this first class that I made with rituals. My name is Laura and I'm guide you through the coming classes. So they are based on Ayurveda. It's a really ancient wisdom from India that really is focused on balancing the energies to have a healthy body, a healthy mind, and a healthy soul. So what we're going to do in this class is we're going to balance all three of the doshas. Those are the dominant energy flows. And this class is very good for this changing weather that we have when the seasons are changing. So just use this class to balance out your energies whenever seasons are changing. I'm not going to say a lot more. I'm going to talk more about the doshas in other classes. So I hope you are ready to join me into this first class. Enjoy. So let's start with finding a comfortable sitting position with a straight back and a long neck. Feel as if the crown reaches up through the air. And then as you breathe in, you can raise up your hands and twist to the right. Gentle twist, it's just the beginning. And when you breathe in, raise your hands and twist to the left. Breathe in, come towards the middle. Maybe come into tabletop position and just warm up the spine a little bit. It's always nice before a practice to just warm up, get a little loose. And after you're done warming up the spine, we come into a standing position. So I always like to warm up before a class. We're going to do a nice little vinyasa flow. It's called sun salutation. So breathe in, breathe out. Bring your hand palms in front of your chest. And then breathe in, hands above. And maybe bend a bit back, putting your pelvis forward, but don't let your head drop down. Just keep it in front. Breathe out. Bring your hands towards the floor. If you can't touch the floor, you can just bend your knees a little bit and bring your nose to the knees. Breathe in, bring your right leg backward as much as you can. Keep the hands on the ground. And now hold the breath. Come into a plank position. And as you breathe out, lower your knees, chest, and forehead to the ground. The hips are off the ground. Then as you breathe in, you scoop up. Bring the head back and breathe out. Reach your hips towards the ceiling. As you breathe in, you bring your right leg forward again. Keep the hands in the same position. And as you breathe out, both legs forward. Breathe in, up and back. And breathe out, hands in front of your chest. Breathe in, other side, up and back. Breathe out, hands towards the floor. Breathe in, left leg backward. Hold the breath, come into a plank. Breathe out, bring your knees, chest, forehead to the ground. Breathe in, scoop forward and back. Breathe out, bring your hips towards the ceiling. Breathe in. Left leg forward again. Breathe out, both legs forward. Breathe in, reach up and back. And breathe out, hands in front of your chest. One more time, a bit quicker to really warm up the body. Breathe in, up and back. Breathe out, hands towards the floor. Breathe in, right leg back. Hold the breath, come into a plank. knees, chest, forehead to the ground. Breathe in, scoop up and back. Breathe out, bring your hips towards the ceiling. Breathe in, right leg forward. Breathe out. Breathe in, up and back, and breathe out. And again. Breathe out. Breathe in left. Hold the breath. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in left. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. So I hope you are a little bit warmed up now. If you are, you can lay down on the floor to take a quick savasana. And just try to reflect on the status of your body. Is your heart beat? Is it raised? Are you warm? Just take some rest in between the postures. And we'll take one more breath here. And as you're ready, you can bring your feet together and point the feet. And then your hands are slightly under your hips with your elbows pointed out to the side. And as you breathe in, you look towards your feet and really bring the weight on your elbows and bring them as close as you can. So then on your next inhale, you really lift up the chest. And as you exhale, you drop the head down behind you and maybe touch the ground with the crown of your head. And there should be no weight on your head, but on the elbows. And really take advantage of the fact that your chest is really open now. But don't force the breath. Take one more inhale. And as you exhale, look back at your feet to come out of the posture. Lay down on the ground and hug your knees into your chest. And you can give your back a little massage here by just wiggling from side to side. Or make the posture a bit harder by bringing your nose to the knees for an air-releasing pose. So for the next posture, we'll come up into a sitting position on both of our feet. If you don't feel comfortable sitting like this, you can always use a bolster and maybe sit on the bolster. We're going to sit like this for 2 minutes. So make sure you're sitting in a comfortable position. This is a really good posture for strengthening or being aware of the straight back. So if you sit a lot, you're always used to hunching your back. And during the day, we hunch our back a little bit. So even if you don't have time to do yoga as often, just do this pose for maybe 1 minute a day. So this pose is called cow face. I want you to reach up with your right hand and place it in between the shoulder blades. Then you reach to the side with your left hand and try to hold on to your right hand. If you can't hold on to your right hand because you can't reach out that much, you can always use a towel, just roll it up and hold it in between. Make sure you're not hunching in this pose. Keep the back straight. And the elbow should be next to your ear. It shouldn't be in front of your head. So if you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes in this posture. And take a moment of reflection. Also here, the chest is really open, so take a couple of deep breaths here. So whenever you're ready, on your next exhale, release out of the pose. And maybe turn your shoulders to get some of the tension out. And then we'll do the other side. So I want you to lift up your left hand and put it in between the shoulder blades. And then reach out with the right hand and try to hold onto your left hand. Taking one more deep inhale. And on the exhale, you can release the pose and wiggle your feet out in front of you. And then we're going for a forward bend. So if you have any lower back issues or you have tight hamstrings, for the lower back, you don't have to go all the way down. And for the tight hamstrings, maybe just raise up your knees a little bit out in front of you. So when you breathe in, you lift up your chest and you walk forward as you breathe out. And try to hold on to your feet. And if that's not possible, just hold on to the shins, the ankles, wherever you can go. And try to bring your nose towards your knees. So you should feel a big stretch in the back, the lower back. And if it hurts too much, just get out. Yoga is not about how deep you can get into the posture. It's about doing it, making time for it in the first place, I guess. Take one more breath here. So inhale. And as you exhale, you can lower out of the posture, vertebra by vertebra, not too fast. Placing your hands behind you for the next pose. The fingers have to point away from you, but if you're hyper flexible, like I am, it might be more comfortable to point your fingers towards yourself. So what we're going to do now is as we inhale, we lift up the hips towards the ceiling and we drop the head back. So breathe in, lift your hips up towards the ceiling and drop the head back for another 8, 7, 6, keep breathing, 5, 4, 3, 2, somewhat higher, and 1. Look at your feet again and gently come down. And we can rest on our bellies for a couple of seconds, coming into crocodile pose. The big toes are touching and your legs are falling out. It's always good to take some rest in between postures so your body has a chance to really recover from what you have done. So for the next pose, bring the feet together, ankles touching, toes touching. You bring your chin on the floor. And then when you breathe in, you look forward and make sure that all the strength is coming from your back, so you're not pushing yourself upward for a cobra. Gaze down in front of you and try to breathe in this posture. And with every inhale, you can come a little bit higher. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. And take one more inhale. And as you exhale, you can come back towards the floor into this lazy crocodile pose. So let your feet drop out, big toes touching. Take a couple of seconds here to recover. So our next posture is going to be the extended cobra. In here, your legs are going to be mat width apart. And you're going to place your hands next to your chest again, bringing the chin on the floor. And as you breathe in, you lift yourself up higher. Now you can push a little bit with your hands and make sure your shoulders are not high like this, but away from the ears. And try to enjoy this deep stretch in your lower back. Also a very good pose for us women to give a gentle massage to our reproductive organs. And keep breathing. And we're taking one more breath in. And as you breathe out, you can come down again. And come onto your knees for child's pose. Bringing your forehead to the floor. If this is uncomfortable for your lower back, you can make 2 fists of your hands and just place your head, your forehead on the fists. Taking 2 more breaths. And in your next inhale, I would like you to come up into a squat position. So if it's not possible for you to have both feet straight on the ground, just stay on your toes. And try to bring the feet more close. So this is a balancing pose. So what we're going to do is we're going to work with contradictions. So you're going to put some strength on the crease of your knees, and then you push your knees inside. So you push your arms outside and your knees inwards. That's better for the power of the pose. So we want our hands a little bit turned inwards. And what we're going to do is we're going to put our hands on the ground, and then we look forward and we try to balance on our elbows, holding it for 10 seconds and keep breathing. Very good posture for focus, for willpower and strength. And come back. Let's repeat it 2 more times. So bring the elbows in the crease of the knees again. Hands turned slightly inwards. And there we go. Balancing up. And look forward. It's easier for your focus to look at 1 point, 1 meter in front of you. And calm down. Take 2 breaths. And let's repeat it one more time, just for some extra concentration and willpower. So calm down and balance. You can do really, really cool things with this pose, but that's for some other time. Let's just leave it here now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And let's come into a standing position for the last 3 poses of this sequence. We're now just gonna ground back after doing the sequence. So what I like you to do is when you breathe in, you reach up. And as you breathe out, you bring some weight into your left leg and you drop down towards the right for a triangle pose. So what you should feel here is a real deep stretch on the left side of your body. Very nice posture to work on your balancing, on your grounding, and also for the digestion. You can close your eyes here if you like. Very nice pose for balancing, for grounding. And you can deepen the pose every time you exhale. And as you inhale, reach up again. And on the exhale, bring some weight onto your right leg and drop to the left. And keep breathing. And every time as you exhale, you can deepen the posture. Inhale, come up again. And exhale, drop your hands. And just wiggle a little bit. Before we heading towards our second balancing pose, I really love this pose. It's the tree. So what we're doing is we bring both feet together and just bring your right foot on the inside of the left leg. Try to balance here. Probably you're wiggling a little bit like a tree in the wind. And bring your hands in front of your chest if you're ready. If you really want some more focus, it's really easy to focus on a point 1 meter in front of you. And as you feel stable in this position, maybe you can try to lift your arms above your head. And we're gonna stay in this pose for another 40 seconds. Try to imagine that you're a tree, trying to really grow your roots into the ground and grounding. Try to hold on for 2 more breaths. And as you exhale, you can release out of the posture. Making yourselves ready for the other side. So bring your left leg or your left foot inside of your right leg. And bring both arms in front of your heart. And whenever you feel comfortable enough and your standing leg is strong, just raise your hands up above your head and try to look on a focus point 1 meter in front of you. And try to keep breathing. Sometimes you really forget to breathe when you need the strength to really stay into a posture. And really try to feel how your foot is grounding. And take 2 more deep breaths. And as you exhale, release from the pose. Bring the feet together, ankles touch, big toes touch for the last pose of this sequence, the mountain pose. So make sure that both of your legs are very stable and strong into the ground, really like a mountain. So no shakiness, just really point them down and feel how all the weight is really on your whole feet. So as you're ready, you lift up your hands again and you look in between your hands, but don't drop the head down too much. And if you feel comfortable, just close your eyes here. It's the last posture. And feel how your body is trying to keep the balance. Your whole body is working now to keep you straight and standing here. Really nice way to ground after a yoga sequence. And breathe. And if you feel ready, gently release out of the pose. Maybe keep your eyes closed. And come down to the mat for a final Savasana. Let your feet drop to the outside. And all you have to do now is just be present. Being grateful for giving yourself the time to do some yoga today. And on your own pace, just roll onto the right side of your body. And slowly push yourself back up into sitting position. So thank you for joining me. I really hoped you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next week. Namaste.